We are extremely pleased that you're here. We see a gathering, in fact we see this gathering, this specific gathering as co-creating at its best. You'll see too as we move forward together. You are more than you know, more than we could explain to you in any reasonable amount of time. But your source energy extended into these bodies, and you're really magnificent. You don't know that mostly, but you are. And you are the expansion point of the universe. And by that we mean, you said, I'm willing to go into contrast. We don't have contrast in non-physical that you could even discern. Oh, there is contrast, but it's such an insignificant variance that you wouldn't notice at all from your human perspective. But you said, I will go into contrast that is noticeable, and from it, I will find my preferences. And we all knew the value of that, because we all know that you out here on the leading edge finding preferences, what you prefer beyond what is, or what you prefer from among what is, that as you focus there, even if you're focusing on the I don't like this part, I can't stand this part, even if that's the part you're focused upon, you are clarifying what you do want, even though you launch a rocket that's outside your bandwidth. When you know what you don't want, when you see it, when it's exaggerated, when it's big, and you find yourself shaking in your skin because you can't stand it so much, you are launching rockets of desire that are received and focused upon and understood by your non-physical counterparts, because that's how expansion happens. Not just for you on planet Earth, but for all. And so, we just described step one. You know what you don't want, you launch the rocket. That's asking. And then your inner being. You may not be familiar with your inner being, but your inner being is certainly familiar with you. Adoring you, appreciating you all day, every day, and knowing who you are and what you have decided that you want or prefer, even when you are fixated for the time being on the absence of the lover, or the absence of the money, or the absence of the well-being. Even when that's the part of the contrast that you're focused upon, your inner being knows what it is you're asking for. And your inner being never looks otherwise. Your inner being is always looking at the forward motion that you have set into motion by your willingness to explore. And so, it's not far from where you are to where you want to be. It's not far. It's just a very slight vibrational difference in most cases. Just feel a little better, feel a little better, feel a little better. It doesn't take much, but it does take that. Because if you only focus on what is, and you're focusing upon the part of what is that you don't care for so much, then you hold yourself without meaning to in a vibrational frequency that the law of attraction is responding to. That's what your point of attraction is. Your point of attraction is best known to you, for you, by how you feel. Your mood is the best indicator that you have of what your point of attraction is. So, we'll talk about all of that. We'll talk about it as specifically as you are wanting or as you are able. We know for sure that this will be a conversation that enlivens you. In some cases it soothes you, and in every case refreshes you. Because you're asking with stronger clarity than ever before. And therefore the answers are easier for you to hear. We're eager to talk with you about whatever you want to talk about. There is nothing off limits. We have no agenda other than to help you believe that you can get from where you are to where you want to be. We want to show you how you can calibrate with your desire. But you got to get your attention off of the part of what is that you don't want in order to calibrate to the part that you have defined that you do want. And then momentum begins. And then what humans think is magic begins, because doors open for you. Doors open along a path. People are saying to us, where is my path? How do I find my path? And we want to say to you, what is your path? What your path is that launching of desires that you have launched that have been held and focused upon in what we are calling your vortex. It's really a vibrational reality that's in the process of becoming a see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it reality. So that path that we talk about all of the time is the path that is taking you, leading you, calling you from where you are to the more that you've become, to the more that you have already become vibrationally, that you haven't quite let yourself become all the way. That's why you see the lack of money or the lack of the lover or the lack of the clarity, while your inner being has already captured it and sees it and is focusing on it and is calling it forward for you. But you have to be called forward to in order to rendezvous with what's being called forward for you. Does that make sense? So much fun ahead. So what do you want to talk about?
Hello. I want to talk about how things are always working out for me. There was a time where, a few years ago, I wanted this truck. I wanted a truck. I wanted a truck to haul things, junk, whatever. And I kept seeing these trucks, and they didn't thrill me. I was like, So I just kind of let it go. And my wife and I was coming.
It's one thing not to be thrilled. That's sort of neutral. It's another thing to push against. You weren't pushing against. You just weren't thrilled. They weren't calling you.
No.
Would you call it beginning stages of attraction? So slight that it hardly rang your bells at all?
Exactly.
But can you acknowledge that it was beginning stages of attraction?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And can you acknowledge that even the existence of this not bell-ringing truck did put something in the vortex that did call you further to the next?
And the next was, my wife and I are coming from Monterey from a weekend. And she said, honey, what do you want for Christmas? And I thought, I have a telescope. No. I said, let me get back to you on that. So I went to my phone. I was strolling through, and I saw the most beautiful truck I ever saw in my life. I said, that's what I want right there.
So we want to punctuate something here. When you feel like that about something, there's a lot of attraction power in it. And if you can maintain that feeling about it, it will come to you. It will come to you. If you get impatient, you slow it down. If you get talked out about by someone who you think is smarter than you, you may resent the intrusion into your life experience, but you'll still slow it down. But once you have identified that you want it, and once you see it and your feeling about it is like that, it cannot not come. It must come. It must come. Did it come?
Oh, it came.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Let me tell you. So I knew I was going to get this. I just knew it. It was no doubt in my mind. And I said...
So that's the point where when you have no doubt, then you just enjoy the incredible, remarkable, what you want to call coincidences, but are really actual creations that you're in the vibrational place of witnessing. Some people think that they want something and then they just want it to be there, but you don't. It's so much more fun when you get to witness your clarification of it. And so this has not been planned. It looks like this is an act that we're going to take on the road, but it isn't.
So we went to this, I said, let's go to this place, car dealership, and over here. Out of all the dealerships in town, I said, let's go to this one. And got there and I saw this beautiful red truck, and I didn't see the one that I originally saw. And my wife goes, Melvin, it's over here. And I looked and I saw that truck and I said, I want this truck. And I said, let's go inside and ride it. I didn't even take the truck for a test drive yet. So he said, well, don't you want to drive it? I said, okay, sure. Yeah, let's go drive it. It was a great, great ride. And so we bought the truck. The salesperson was going through the features of the truck with me, and this other guy showed up. He was coming to buy a truck, and he had his family with him, and he said, oh, that's my truck. That's the truck that I wanted. And I said, no, I just filled the paperwork out for this truck. This truck is mine now. And it was the only one they had. And I drove home.
We like what you're getting at, with the slight exception that let's not get into truck shortage consciousness. And let's not get into competition with others who are wanting things. But your timing was really magnificent. And that's why you felt such an impulse to be there. That's why your wife was roaming around looking for it. That's why you got there. Timing is all part of creation, isn't it?
Yes.
But we really want to say to you and the other people who came with their little children and everything together. We really want to say to all of you, there is always another, 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 always another, there is always another, there is always another, there is always another. But taking pleasure from your timing, from your clarity, when things like that happen to Esther and she wants to tell the story about it and she wants to explain every detail of it because once it starts unfolding like that, you can really feel that it's happening. And it makes you want to shout from the rooftops, this is how it happens, this is how it happens, this is how it happens. But what we are wanting to emphasize here about this is that it isn't the getting of the truck, it's the process of the truck becoming right before your eyes. Because what creation is attraction. And what attraction is matching. And what matching is rendezvousing. And what rendezvousing is, in other words, there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. But you have to define what it is that you want, and you have to get into the vibrational vicinity of it. And when you do, it is going to happen.
Yes.
But most people don't. Most people did not really enjoy your story all that much. Because they did. These are nice people. These are exceptional people. So you just bought the truck. Well, there are some that aren't just ready to buy the truck. Some need a large donation from someone else. Or. But it always works out. Everything that you hold is always part of the recipe, so to speak, of things that unfold.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next